YouTube, Cardfight King here, AQUA Life Baby. You already know how it is, so let me turn down the AC. So, for this video, actually, I wanted to just, elaborate more on my initial, discussion yesterday about having 3 clans per imaginary gift marker. Now, the reason why I say this, and it was brought up to me, but is that I think it's actually a pretty smart idea, smart strategy. Now, it's not, I want to say it's not limited to anybody, anyone could do it, but I would say this, idea, this strategy, so to speak, focuses more on, people who are kind of undecided. I would say they're undecided. They are looking to maybe experience something that they had some sort of prior interest in, or just a basis of interest based on whatever they wanted to base it on. So something along those lines, so to speak. Obviously, you're going to have some players who are more committed to, say, a certain gift marker, say Excel. So you're going to play Novas, Tachis, Aquaforce. You know, you just love the Excel marker. And so that's what you're going to base it on. You may love the Force marker. So, you know, Cockroach, Dimension Police, yada yada for Force. So, you know, those people are there. Or you might be somebody who just, you know, likes specific clans, regardless of what gift marker their clan possesses. So you're just going to pick up the clan regardless. But I'm just talking about more like the people like me, for instance, who have an interest in something, but didn't like the direction that Bushiroad was previously taking with the clan, or you know, you wanted to monetarily invest in, basically because you know that the clan was just not really competitively viable. It was just a little bit too expensive. Plus, you know, you can say, oh well, the game's kind of rebooting, ending, so it might not even worth investing in the first place. So something like that. Or people whose clans, you know, you don't know when they're going to get support, like, you know, Gear Chronicles, maybe you're a Token Rambo main, something of that nature. So getting into it, I want you to think of the gift markers as a dinner plate. Now, yes, yes, coming from your fat old king here. But listen, think of it as a dinner plate. Protect is like your vegetables. You know, they protect your immune system, all that. Force is like your meat. You know, it's the stuff that makes you full. It's, you know, chewy. It's powerful. It's that protein. And then Excel is your starch. You know, it's what gives you the carbs, your energy, things like that. So I want you to think of it as a dinner plate. And I felt like this strategy was good. You know, I think I can coin it as a dinner plate a dinner plate deck owning strategy, something like that. I'll come up with another name. But think of it as like a dinner plate. So, and the idea is that, you know, you have all these components that, you know, you can get your full basis of nutrients, you know, for eating. But for your clans, you can get that, you can get your fill of experience. You know, Excel. How well do you know Excel decks? You know, how well do you think you can play with them? Generally, I would think Excel decks come with, I guess, less defense, so to speak, but obviously they focus on more of an offensive out push, right? So so you do have that. And then you have Force, where it's, you know, a lot of it's it's a lot of it, you want to think it's center column pressure, you know, like Overlord, Waterfall, Dayusha, whatnot. So you know, you look at forces like that, but Force is interesting because you put markers on any rear guard circle. So you're gonna put it like in your front row rear guard circle or whatever it is. And so then it's like, well, you want to get, you know, experience with that, because you're like, well, hey, I can use Overlord skill to get 10k, I guess. I think that's what the new one does. And then I want my rear guard columns to push more, something of that nature. So, you can get experience with playing that. Plus, it's good for for when you go up against it, so you can see what other players are generally doing versus what you believed your strategy initially to be with it, because you get to place it anywhere. So it just depends on how you want to place it, where you want to place it in your strategy. With that. So then, you have Protect. And Protect is kind of like, it's just another Perfect Guard, right? Well, yes. And from what I've tested out with it, Protect, it's like, you have your draw Perfect Guards, but then you have the other Perfect Guards. So it's more defense. But clans like Dark Irregulars and Grand Blue, I feel like Protect is good for them, mostly because because like Dark Irregulars, their basis and what they have historically have been before they started getting really crazy in Stride was a Russian roulette. They're a Russian roulette type of deck. Same, in a way Grand Blue was too, so to speak, but differently. So Grand Blue milled cards to the drop zone. So you would lose out on your defense. You would lose out on your triggers and your Perfect Guards and whatnot. Dark Irregulars, you would so charge, your Perfect Guards, your triggers, and stuff like that. So then being Protect gives them some guaranteed protection, gives them some guaranteed defense each time, they ride their 3. So I think it's good. That's good for them. And then once you start playing with those clans, you can just say, hey, I can maybe take a more aggressive strategy towards how I play with them, because even if I mill my Perfect Guards, I'm using my Protect marker, so every time I ride a 3, I'm guaranteed to get that. Or with Force, I like having my center compressor. I know Dragonic Waterfall has that guard manipulates type of skill, so I'm gonna make my Force column extremely strong because I want to focus on him. For Excel, Excel is like creating another rear guard circle, but for Nova Grabbers they have like Maximum Riser, and it's like, well, I want to make sure that I have my Excel circles ready, so for Maximum Riser to go in, because I'll build my deck with specific units that can work well without needing a booster. So things of that nature. And that's why I think that when you have a full dinner plate of the imaginary gift markers, you can get experience with each and every one of them and start working on your strategy. Plus, it's good, if you're playtesting, so you're not getting bored just playing, the same deck every time. Even if it's like, well, I see this one as my tournament deck. Well, you can see this as your tournament deck, but if, one day you want to switch it up, or you feel like, well, my meta is such and such deck and I think that this deck gives me a better chance, rather than playing in a mirror match, this deck would give me a better chance against what I believe the meta is, so that you have some nice colorful variety of decks to choose and play. Plus, when you're playtesting, playtesting with yourself or wherever, you have your different decks to try out, at least your 3 different decks, so you get a different perspective from each of them, identifying with their markers. So that's really what I wanted to just, say, was that it's just a full dinner plate of experience that you're getting using this type of deck deck building strategy when you're thinking about owning multiple decks. Now for me, for instance, my Excel clan is going to be Aquaforce, obviously, and Aquaforce is definitely, you guys know, I'm the king, it's all about that AQUA Life, so that's going to be my main deck I'm going to play with, for the entirety of the game. And I'm going to max rarity of the deck, and I figured the reason why I'm a max rarity of the deck is because we don't get support for another year, and I'd rather, since we're starting from scratch essentially, I'd rather max rarity it now than make that decision a year later when the stuff from this year is going to be more expensive due to the set being out of print and such and such. So I already know where I'm going with Excel. For the other clans, I have like a scouting board, so to speak. So, you know, on my scouting board, you know, for Force, I should say, the clan I'm most interested in building is Shadow Paladins for Force. Now, the reason why is that is because I like the Rin Suzugimori type of Shadow Paladins. You know, I like the Blaster Dark aesthetics. Plus, I have some history with Shadow Paladins in terms of playing against them in tournament. My first tournament experience, I lost to Shadow Paladins, and I was knocked out of being. I was in the final round, and I missed top by that one match. It came down literally to a trigger. You know, if you got a trigger, I was literally 5k short of being able to block it. So there was that. But I like Shadow Paladins. I just was, you know, again, I was new. I wasn't sure of where I wanted to go, and Aqua Force was the only deck that I really cared about at that point. I wanted to get better with it. So with that being said, Shadow Paladins is something I'm looking at. They're at the top of my scouting board for Force. You know, I'm looking at Spike Brothers, but I've never really been a Spike Brother player. I love the football aesthetics because, you know, I'm all about football, but Spike Brothers is something I'm looking at. I'm not a fan of Kagero or Royal Paladin, also those throw out the markers. Dimension Police, never really been a fan of. I'm only putting them on the board more or less just looking at them as opposition to go against, because I know down in Virginia, you know, the Northern Virginia area, they are huge on Dimension Police. So with that being said, whenever we have tournaments down there, whatever, and Dimension Police get some fresh support, or it might actually be good, you have a lot of people who come out, you know, and play Dimension Police. And so it's more for the opposition for what I know I'm going to face when I go down to the Northern VA area. Otherwise, up here in like the Maryland area and whatnot, is not a lot of D police players. So there is that. But yeah, like I said, it's Force, and it's more for just opposition, but scouting board nonetheless. And that's all I know for right now. I can make predictions of other clans, like I know Suiko from Ultra Rare is going to be playing Angel Feathers. And so going into that for Protect, I was looking at Oracle Think Tanks. Imperial Daughter is a really strong card to me. Matarasu is pretty good. Like I do like the flow of the deck, so to speak. I've never been an OTT fan, so to speak. So you know, I have a year essentially to build OTT if I'm going to build it, and I can get the stuff now, but I want to get Aqua Force first before anything else, and then I'll decide on whether where I want to go. So I'm saving up, putting my money towards possible case split or whatever it is for Aqua Force. So that's what I'm doing right now. But you know, for Protect, I'm not really looking at Grand Blue is something I can you know, I am probably looking at, so to speak, but again, not too sure. I want to wait till I see some more official skills and whatnot and what they're going to do. I kind of got an idea of what they're going to do, you know, seeing from the episode Basskirk and whatnot. So there's that. But you guys get the gist. That's kind of like where my scouting board is at. Protect is the one that I'm least sold on right now, though I'm just looking around scouting. Force, I'm looking forward to Shadow Paladin. You guys know where I am with Excel. Aqua Life all day, every day, baby. But yeah, so that's the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll leave you with this question. If you were to build a deck for each of the imaginary gift markers, what decks would they be per gift? Just, you know, one deck per imaginary gift. What is it? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you catch every upload. And hopefully soon, Wednesday, I'm praying Wednesday, everything goes right and we can get some standard content on the channel, because right now I'm helping my mother move from one house to the next, so it's a bit difficult right now. But yeah, all right, Cardfight King, we out. Go Caps. and AQUA Life.